Hi guys, how you going? Campbell here from Autodidactic. Thanks for joining me. And airships. What are airships? Now, as far as I'm concerned, they were basically the main transport in the air of the old world, and they were, wiped out, decommissioned, taken away, and basically we were not allowed to use them anymore and we were given aeroplanes, right? And of course, the reason that they gave us that we don't use airships anymore is the Hindenburg accident, which happened once, but now we have planes. And how many plane crashes have we had? So over 100 this year in America. So why aren't they banning planes? Okay, there's something else going on. So let's have another talk about airships. And remember, guys, autodidactic means to be self-educated. And we need to be self-educated because if we're not, the only choice we have left is to believe what someone else tells us. And that's why I do what I do. Dig down in history, find where things just don't make sense. Hopefully try and reveal the deception, but really hopefully try to get anyone who sees this to see things in a different way, to think a different thought, to do something different, right? That's basically where change comes from. So behind me, oh, there you go. That's the Hotel Chicago. And here we have an article. Zeppelin, is that posers, pursuers? Why Chicago's airship dreams never took off. And it says in the 1920s, the city was head over heels for airships. Let this once why did it let this once futuristic technology float away? And here we have the picture, the Hotel Chicago with an airship there. And basically this page tells us that in America, they built all these landing mooring towers, right, on top of buildings to land airships, but they never actually used them. All aboard New York, Chicago, air route, 21st century, limited, get your tickets. Airship sails in 20 minutes. And it comes down to say Chicago had seriously considered becoming a transportation hub for airships, and that it might have outfitted skyscrapers with airship mooring masts. This is talking about a person. He wanted steampunk dreams, etc. And down here it says, when it comes to Chicago buildings that may or may not have had airship docking infrastructure, we encounter only a few leads. One involves the Blackstone Hotel in a 1910 article, where the Blackstone's manager confirms plans to build a drome station on the rooftop. Drome, haven't heard that before. Big enough for 4 airships, housing stalls, and a repair shop. And here we have from the newspaper back in 1910, first aviation landing to be on top of Blackstone Hotel. And here we have the picture again of the Chicago Hotel. I mean, look at this place too, by the way. I mean, look at the onion dome here. Very, very Tartarian old world building and complete with the airship mooring on top of it. So this is what I want to have a look at, because when we look into airships, all this stuff tells us that, it was new technology that they were building and and they got ready for it and they built all these moorings on buildings and everything, but it never quite took off. So basically they're saying they put all this infrastructure in first, right, before the airships took off. So they weren't building infrastructure to cater for demand. They just put it all in first and then, tried to see if it would work, and it didn't. And it's kind of the same story we hear everywhere, right? They build these massive buildings and all this stuff everywhere, but there's no people to use them, so they knock them over. That's a silly story. Here we have, this is an article from a newspaper. And as you can see, it says, would you, if you could, Zeppelin from here to New York? Chicago company organized to build airships for passengers. And a bit more down here, carry 50 passengers, 1,000 miles in 9 hours, still have sufficient food, fuel aboard to continue for another 2,000 miles. As you can see in this picture, this is a fully built out airship station. Okay, we can see the city in the background here, lots of spires. And here we have stairs going up to a platform and people walking on to an airship. All right, up here. Now, this one looks like it's got wings. All right, almost looks literally like a ship, right? Can you see the people standing up here on deck? And that's another interesting point is all these airships and docking points. It's interesting, isn't it, that they call boats ships as well. And boats or ships, it's got two names, right? A boat is a ship. But, obviously ships are bigger than most, they're the big boats, but these are airships. And did you know that they used to, back in the day, 1800s, 1700s, the captain of a ship was called a pilot. So I'm wondering if they have actually inserted this word ship and made us believe that they are, in fact, water-going vessels when in fact they were air-going vessels. Now, all these mentions of ships everywhere and ships doing this and ships doing that, were they actually airships? Were they? What do you think? Please let me know in the comments. So down here it's talking about the article again, and the article ends with, such is the dream that Chicago men hope to make some true, but they insist that it is no dream, just a cold business proposition. So this is, the whole article, and I'll link this below so you can have a look at it in the description. It's talking about, they were going to do this, right? But they're already saying overnight airships to Chicago, opening move to span continents. So it sounds like they were already there and they're expanding. But the story they're trying to tell us is that this never really got off the ground. The most telling chapter of Chicago's interest in airships and the city's eventual abandonment of the technology spans just 5 years. All right. Have we heard a similar story to this before? They build all the infrastructure. 5 years later, it's not worth anything, so they destroy it, right? In 1928, German airship captain Hugo Eckener provided the possibility of transatlantic passenger travel when he flew the Graf Zeppelin. Okay, this is 1928. So this is the Graf Zeppelin, obviously made by the Germans, as we can see, and that they were big airship builders, right? And again, Germany, think of Dresden, like think of all the amazing old world tech in Germany. I would say this was found tech, this was leftover tech, and Germany seemed to be one of the most progressive countries, or at least had the most tech left, right, from the old civilization. And so they were building all these airships everywhere, just using what was already there, right? What they'd already found. And the article goes down, 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 and basically just tries to poo-poo, right? Tries to tell us that this whole narrative that we were actually using airships is fake. But here we have a picture of an airship moored. Now, when I downloaded this picture, it said that it was a composite picture. Now, I'm not sure, that's it. It didn't explain anything else, just a composite picture, which I'm guessing they're trying to infer this was, not part of the original photo. And it does have this graying around it. I'm not sure, but it looks, this end of the airship looks pretty similar to this tower. It looks pretty real to me, right? But this is what they do. They put words like composite in there to make people think, oh, okay, it's not real. That's just been inserted. So US Navy airship moored at the top. I believe this is the Chrysler building. I actually know they're saying that the image is actually marked Empire State Building, but that doesn't look like the Empire State to me. Could be, don't know. I think it's the Chrysler building. Here's another one. Okay, big airship, the Graf Zeppelin, and this is a mooring tower in Berlin. So as you can see, this is just a steel tower, right? And it's not very high, just off the ground where you can moor the front of this airship, and to keep it there, right? And also passengers can go up and down and board it. So this is the new technology, right? This is old world technology, right? And you can see the airship coming in. This is built so it can dock and then people can come up here and enter the airship. And again, look at this building, the Chicago Hotel. I mean, look at this. How Moorish is this place? Crazy. This is another old world one. This is the Crystal Palace from the 1950 World's Fair in London. And what do we have here? Got a tower, and you can see this is like what they would tell us is a viewing deck, but basically a boarding deck. And again, you can moor an airship. And there was actually two of these towers. There's one on the other side here before they moved it, right? Because they tell us they dismantled this and moved it. I think it was like 8 miles and rebuilt it. But when they rebuilt it, it was different. But that's another video. But what I did want to mention is, many people have put forth the notion that this building might be an airship mooring building just because of the size of it, the massive doors, and it's glass. So did they actually used to store airships in here? Because this building also had a railway underneath it, a railway station underground and tracks and everything. So was this like a port hub, right? Airships and trains. They stored them here, and then they bring them out. You can board here and then fly away. Don't know. Why is it made of glass? Well, maybe to keep it warm, to keep the gases inside the airship inflated, right? Because when you heat most gases, that they tend to expand. If it was kept cold, they might deflate. I don't know. That's just my random thought about it. Let me know yours. Here's again the landing deck that we saw this, and this is from a newspaper. This was printed. And again, this is the one that looks like the ship, right? Airship, airships. This one, this is a bit of a small image, sorry. Building provides mooring mast for Zeps. And it basically is talking about New York. It's saying that this is the Empire State, and it's saying that New Yorkers will now soon be able to board an airship from the top of a mooring mast on the top of the Empire State Building. Here's another US Navy Zeppelin and the mooring tower. And again, this is the new world mooring tower, right? Basically just a metal tower and you can't see them so well here, but there are metal cables holding it up. And again, right, they just moor this and you climb up and you climb off it. But in the old world, they were different, the mooring towers. Here's another one, again, German. And you can see this is just a small mooring tower on the ground pretty much. This is the USS Los Angeles airship over France coming in. You can see this, look at the shadow. You can see the size of this thing. And there's a mooring tower. I believe this is it here. Can't see it very well, not the best photo. But these mooring towers, the metal ones, like the New World ones were everywhere. Here's another one, mooring mast 1936, the Hindenburg. There you go, mooring mast Hindenburg in Rio, right, South America. And of course, this again is a New World mooring mast made of metal. So this is basically an adaptation of a mooring mast to hold these airships down, right? Old world technology. And this is what they've created as mooring masts so they can use this technology, right? Because they're now using them for a different thing. It's much more transport. So we don't know exactly what they were using them for in the past. Was it just to transport goods? Was it for traveling? Who knows? Was it both? But basically there were lots and lots of towers all across the realm that you could moor these airships to. And here we have mooring masts, locations from the golden age of airships. And it's fairly mainstream, this one too. It's talking about between the end of World War I and World War II. Three nations were primary developers of regular airship services for civilian and peacetime military purposes. And this is the ones that they've marked. So, of course, a lot in America, a couple of South America, Europe, Africa, Middle East, Asia. So these are just ones they've marked out. But as we go down, you'll see these are all new age ones, right? So it's saying that these are built, in basically between 14 and 39, between the wars. And so these are all new. These are all the metal ones that they're talking about. Okay, all these metal ones, right? Here's another one. Here's another one. This is at the Ford Motor Company airing mooring mast, right? All metal, right? Here's another one. Ford, right? So different to the old ones, right? Here's one, you can see the cables, mooring masts, right? New World metal mooring masts. This one's cool. It's a pyramid, right? You can see the ladder in here where you climb up and you moor it to the top, and a few more mooring masts, right? We see these structures everywhere, right? These towers, but of course they never tell us that they're for mooring airships. So what did they use in the old world? Well, many things, including lighthouses. And it's a rendering, obviously. It's not the original picture, but it's the fabled lighthouse of Alexandria, right? We've all heard this, one of the seven wonders of the world. And how old are airships? Of course, we've got a ship in the middle here, right? In the foreground. Of course, they've put a ship in the foreground here, right? Airships, ships. Again, there's that connection. But yeah, was this from the old world? Was this an ancient airship mooring? And of course, it's out in the ocean, and we see this a lot. This is what they tell us is a lighthouse. Okay, but look at this. Do you think this is a lighthouse? Like or is this a mooring for an airship? Okay, you can see up here, we've got a little deck, got all the stuff. This is an older picture of apparently a lighthouse someone made out of wood, right? Because you're going to make a lighthouse out of wood when this was the 1600s, when back then they had no lights. They would have been using open flames. Not a good idea. Or is this actually just a mooring station for an airship? All right, so a few more. So this is in India. This is an ancient tower. It comes up when you search for victory towers. And what victory over what? These are called victory towers. There's lots of them around the world. And basically, they say that they're, for to commemorate a victory of some kind or a hero. And this obviously very old, but it's the same structure, right? And up the top here, what do we have but a balcony? And on the very top, it's not that easy to see, but there's a ball there that you could moor an airship to. Okay, clearly stairs up the inside because we've got windows all the way up. So again, is this for mooring airships? This is a modern one, right? So same principle, but these are the modern ones they built so that they could use the airships before they decided they gave us too much freedom and basically banned them. Here's another victory tower. This one is that Mithra? Not sure, maybe it's just an angel. Interesting, an angel with wings that can fly. Has that got anything to do with anything? I don't know. And that's just on the top. And so this is the whole building, but up here you can see there is a fence. So that's mooring. So did they somehow moor to this and it was, to the top of this, or was that put on later, or is it not even a mooring tower at all? What do you think? Let me know. But victory over what, right? That's a good question. Is this to do with, when the Allies, the parasites, defeated the old world and took down their transport system? Is that what the victory was over? And just to show you, this is a newer type of metal, stairs all the way up, right? This is an older type, okay, made of rock and brick. And again, staircase the whole way up, spiral staircase. Okay, so they're ultimately the same thing, right? Just built at different times. Here's another one. That's the one from Ford. Here you go again. So this is that tower. That's the outside. And we've got the steps on the inside. And here is another one. And same thing, right? Got this patio, this little platform. And then this has got a statue on top. So were they mooring to these statues or was that replaced at some point? Not sure, but what's the point of a tower this tall with a statue when people on the ground aren't going to be able to really see this statue, are they? And here's just a few views showing you that they're stairwells. They're just towers for stairwells to get people up off the ground. Okay, another new one. More to the new ones. Here again, just to show you, this is definitely stairs made to moor an airship, right? Cardington Airship Tower and Machinery House. Okay, so these existed, but they'll let us know that these ones, that the new world, right, the new world order, that they built, but they won't admit to the old ones that were already here. And this is called basically the masthead, right? Side mooring guy, emergency water blast. And this is the main mooring eye that they moor to. And it means they can, swing around with the wind. Got the lookout here, right? So this is showing you how they actually moor to these towers. And what does it say down here? Passenger platform. You can even see the door here that's dropped down that they can walk up. Now this is I believe it's a Victory Tower. This one I think was in Spain, and same thing, right? Like let's zoom in and have a look what's on the very top. We've got all this nice gold stuff, but what's this? Is that like a little ball for the airship to moor on? Moron. And then down here, of course, we have the balcony, right, where people can board. So that's still there. And, another thing I want to say is these things are called towers, right? Tower. So if we break that into two words, we get to were, right? Or is it to where? Because they love their spell casting, a tower to where? Because you went up there and you went somewhere. Where are you going? I don't know, but I'm going on an airship, right? This is a section through the dome of the US Capitol building. Okay, so domes, some domes also have balconies, right? Like this one you can see on the side here. And what do we have on the inside? Stairs, right? Stairs coming down on the upside of the dome, right, with the paintings, but all stairs, right, to get you up to this platform and even higher if you had to actually hook the airship up to the mast. Victory Tower in Goynuk. I'm not sure exactly where that is. It sounds Japanese. But this is an interesting one because it looks like it might be on the side of some kind of fort or castle or something. But again, same thing, right? This one's got 3 decks, but got this top deck and they could have been mooring to the top of this. Okay, so this is again Empire State Building. I've got lower observation floor, winches, anchor, and dirigible to mast. Cable to winches, stairs. There's a stairway going up in here as well. Elevator shaft, enclosed observation deck, observation platform, mooring mechanism. This is where you exit from the dirigible, or a dirigible is just a generic term for like airship or zeppelin. Mooring mechanism and beacon lights. So it's saying that there was even lights, right, in the top, which is another thing, right? So this is top of the Empire State Building, and they're saying definitely it was for mooring airships. But a light, right? A light coming out. So what are lighthouses? This is an engraving of the Corduan lighthouse from 1611. Okay, pretty ornate lighthouse, pretty big. And up here, you can see we get the same kind of thing, right? You get doors here. We've got a platform where someone's standing out on it. Another platform here where someone's standing out on it. And at the top, we have, it's the top of the photo, sorry, but you can see there's a ball there. Okay, to moor an airship on. But they tell us it's a lighthouse. And of course, what do lighthouses do? They're for ships, right? For ships. So what are we talking here? Water ships or airships? Here's another tower. This is saying it's a rebuilt version of the Eddystone Lighthouse, but the same thing. So calling it a lighthouse, got stairs going up, got their light, whatever that is, the light room at the top. But this is a viewing deck or a platform where you can board the airship. And of course, we've got the circular bit on top to moor to. This, of course, is more of a traditional type lighthouse. This is on an island, which I find interesting, but same thing. You can climb up it. We've got a deck here and a mooring board on top. And this one is out in the water. Is this for long crossings or is this for supplies or something? Interesting that so many of these lighthouses are in the water. Again, this is the Lighthouse of Alexandria. So this is a bit of a better view I can zoom in on, and you can see there's a deck here. There's a deck here. And there's a deck here and somewhere you could moor. Again, this is an image, but they've put a statue up there and, maybe they were mooring onto the statues. I'm not sure, onto their heads maybe. And this is, the mirror, I guess, that was the light. But what do you think? Lighthouse or airship? Airport. Okay, here's another one, right? And again, interesting that it's connected to this castle or fort, right? Airship. What do we have? Platform, mooring mast. Okay, on the side of a castle, right? So you can fly in or fly out from the castle. Now this is called a surviving Roman lighthouse at Dover Castle in Kent. Now, I added this one because this looks very reminiscent of a castle turret, doesn't it? Castle turrets. It looks very old. It's been through a bit, the old tower, but you can get up to the top here, right, to this deck. Was there a mast on this at some point that you could moor to? And is this what all castle turrets really were for travel? This one, I think, we saw before, the Tower of Hercules in Spain, still standing. And again, mooring ball and platform, boarding platform. And this is a science photo gallery about 19th century lighthouses. And I saw this picture and I thought it was pretty interesting. Mainly because when we look at this, I can't zoom in too much, sorry. Well, he's got a boat up there, but we've got the viewing deck, we've got the mooring mast, we've got the stairs going up and down. Okay, they're telling us it's a lighthouse. It looks very much like it could be, an airship moor. And what I found interesting about this one is look how deep it goes into the ground. And I was just wondering, how far do these towers and these lighthouses go into the ground? And did they maybe connect up with something underground? Like, I don't know, a train system, like the underground, because we've found train systems underground all over the place. And like I showed you before on the Crystal Palace, that had two towers and it had a railway station underneath it as well. And, people have found pneumatic train systems running off air and they were like circular or spherical, not spherical, circular. And there's also just, so many different stations and that being found underground. Do you think this was a complete network where the airships would come in and land, you go down and you can get onto a train and then take off to wherever you need to go that's close by? Just a thought. What do you think? Let me know. And just to finish with, I thought I would show you that they're bringing airships back, pioneering the future of sustainable travel, of course, right? It's all got to be sustainable. It's all for the environment. But as we come down here, the future of air travel with cues from the past. Okay, this is a future airship. and this is the past. Okay, airships were at the height of travel innovation in the 1920s and 30s, circumnavigating the globe as one of the most exciting ways to travel. Now we're reinventing this technology to face modern environmental challenges, of course, right? While offering new vantage points of pristine wilderness. Life aboard an ocean sky airship. Isn't that interesting? Ocean sky airship, right? It should really be sky ocean, right? Airship, but look, see? Sky Air Ocean Ship. We'll send you back in time when airship travel was the height of opulence and adventure. Experience the best in comfort and culinary craft. So this is basically a way for rich people to travel. I've looked, I can't find the prices, but I'm sure it's expensive. It's basically promoted as, you know, travel for millionaires, basically. And here we go, airship travel for a new era. Here we've got some footage. They actually go to to the Arctic. Here's some old footage from old, and see how they've kind of melded it. So they're showing us right here. This used to be a thing, and they're bringing it back, right? But restricted under companies where people don't own their airships. It's all regulated. That's what that's what they will allow. They will definitely not allow people to build their own airships. And that's kind of probably why they brought planes in, right? It's pretty hard to build your own plane. An ultralight maybe, but a big plane where you can actually go, a fair distance, pretty hard. Airships, a lot simpler. And then we just talk about the golden era of travel reimagined. Airships of 100 years ago, varied in appearance, but known for their lavish experiences. So here we go. This is the old, which you've all seen, and this is the new. Right, they even got windows in the floor so you can see where you're going. But these things, they're not for travel. So don't get too excited. You can't jump on one and go traveling sort of to wherever you want. They only do certain voyages. Let's discover, what do they do? North Pole. North Pole Expedition and Capricorn Voyage, which I'm guessing is the Tropic of Capricorn. So they'll take you to places where they're okay with you to look out, because that's the big thing about airships is you can see a lot because you're so much closer to the ground and moving so much slower, and they will take you over the North Pole. Okay, in the path of the Norge. On May 9th, 1926, the first ever flight over the North Pole was achieved by the airship Norge. In the wake of this momentous occasion, we are bringing back the expeditionary spirit of the past with a redefined level of comfort and luxury. And here we have the Norge, right, over the Antarctic. They say the North Pole, but over the Antarctic, maybe the area outside Hyperborea, don't know. And it's got a lot about, the journey, blah, 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 blah. So I'll link this as well. All the articles I'll link below. You'll find them in the description so you can have a look at them. And so I just wanted to show you this as well. Like they're still making these. I'm sure they've been making them for a while. We have these things called cigar-shaped UFOs. I haven't heard of them so much recently, but they sound like airships, right? Cigar-shaped UFO airship. Is that just a way of covering up that they've been traveling on these all the time? Are they using these to travel to other lands, be they outer lands or hidden lands within our realm? And is that how they hide them? Oh, it's a UFO. It's a UFO. I mean, is that all that UFOs are? Just them traveling around and not wanting us to know about it. So everything's a UFO. Let me know in the comments. But that's about it. We've come to the end. So I just wanted to show you the opulence of the new airship. And this is what they're like. They are literally ships, right? Floating in the air. What do you think about ships? Is that another cover up to cover up that they were airships, that they weren't ocean-bound ships? And of course, what do you think? All these buildings and lighthouses and columns that we find around the world with stairs in them and platforms at the top, are they all actually airship airports? Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. So thank you. If you've got to the end of this video, thank you very much for staying with me. I hope you enjoyed it. please share this around, give me a like, all that kind of stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. And also, you'll find some links below. We're having an event, Tartaria Australia. We're having the Jolly Swag Tour at the farm in northern New South Wales. So there'll be a link below for that. And we're also starting a Get Your Shit Together hour. And you'll find the details to what that is below as well. So go check it out. We'd love you to join us. And thanks for spending some time with me. Stay awesome. And I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.
Remember, in the end, nobody wins unless everybody wins. Come on!